Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, as we cover Addie's story and looking at slavery and the civil rights, not civil rights movement, well, sort of, but slavery, the American Civil War, and other aspects. I am going to be covering a documentary from 2005 called 500 Years Later. So this is an interesting documentary. This is definitely not for, I would say, high school and up. And parents, you need to watch this beforehand because it's almost 2 hours. You should not watch it, I don't think, all at once. There's too much. It has, I watched it on YouTube. My recommendation is to get it in DVD form, or at least watch it yourself and pinpoint the timestamps of the different parts to it and go over it bit by bit. There is a lot of information here. It was filmed in 2005, so there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Bill Cosby has voiceover in this, so as a reminder, this was filmed in 2005. I'm not going to discount it, but it is something to be aware of. Also, some of the other speakers and academics that are used in here, there's controversy around them. One of the gentlemen who has since passed, whose name I cannot pronounce, but he spent time in prison for assaulting women, in which he denies. He eventually did get paroled. There's a poet on here who had a couple of others who have some interesting views, to say the least. There's definitely some controversy surrounding some of these and their viewpoints of different people. I believe there's a female academic who is a little on the weird side. When I looked her up, she involved thinking the melanin in the skin of Africans gives them magic, which is weird. If you're not aware what melanin is, everybody has it. Gives our skin color. So, it's just people who are of African descent have more in it. And I want to be clear on this. No, that does not make you immune from the sun. Please, everybody, wear sunscreen. I don't care how black you are. The sun does not care. You can still get skin cancer. But again, there are some controversial views in here, which is the reason I say watch this in pieces. Parents, watch this yourselves first and be prepared to talk about these different people. So this is a documentary that you need to go into knowing what you're looking at. And again, I would not show it to children below 9th grade. And again, do it in pieces. There is a lot of very interesting information. I do not want to discount this. Yes, even though there is Bill Cosby in here, there is some definite racism on the part of some African American speakers. There's also the opposite as well here. So, and again, it was filmed in 2005, so we've obviously understood and we have learned a heck of a lot more since then. This is over 10 years old, but it still has value. And this is for everyone. Yes, I still consider this a valuable documentary for white, black, everybody. It is very interesting. It talks about the history. It goes through the history of slavery. It talks about different things. It talks about the culture. It it is very informative, it is very interesting, but again, also it was filmed in 2005. So go back, double check. It is a good basis. Again, do it by chapter because they have the different sections. And it talks about the French Prince of Bel-Air when it talks about different culture. And they make a good point that Will Smith is the popular one because he's street smart and not book smart, while Carlton is the wealthy. He's almost white. He's not seen in a positive light, particularly in the beginning. I think that changes as the series goes on and his character develops. But they make a point of saying Carlton is the smart one and he's looked down upon. And that has a negative effect on everybody, but particularly African Americans. So this can be definitely a good jumping off point to look at some of these issues, to look at this history. So do it in parts. It's a very long documentary. I ended up getting, I thoroughly admit I have ADHD, and I fast forward through lots of things. So, and no, it's not just because it's an African American documentary. I fast forward through a lot of things because even when I'm on my ADHD meds, which I'm not right now, I'm waiting to get a hold of them. I need my stimulants because otherwise I really can't focus. So I still, but I watched more of this than I've done other stuff. I also turn on the not the subtitles. This is in English mostly. The closed captioning. It helps me focus a little bit more. But I do recommend this. It is very, very interesting. It has a lot of great history in it, but you definitely need to double check the sources because things change over time. Talk about the controversies with some of the speakers. Look them up. Talk about who they are, and I'm not going to go into Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's, I always thought he was creepy, personally. I preferred Richard Pryor, but again, I'm not going there. So, but again, this is a very long 2005 documentary with a lot of interesting information. I feel like I'm talking in circles. So, but it's great if you know what you're doing. If you just want to straight watch this documentary, don't. Particularly do not watch it with your younger kids. It's too confusing. I'm not going to say it's traumatizing, though it might be. But it's not going to make a lot of sense if you don't talk about it. And I don't think children of any age will get a lot out of it if you don't do it in pieces and talk about each portion because it's just too much. So you need to, it's a great part of a curriculum or multiple curriculums over time to look at different portions. From looking at the history of slavery and a variety of the culture and the civil rights movement and what's going on at the time now. Remember, this is 2005, so this is before Trump. This is before Obama. 2005. This is during the, I think, I'm trying to think. It's the first or second Bush administration. Well, no, but first and second, not first and second Bush administration. It's the, I have a brain working. Bush the second's, J.W. Bush's, I think it's during his first 4 years as president, because it's 2005. Maybe his second. It's been a long time. I graduated in 2003. It's a long time ago. But yeah, it doesn't get beyond that. So we haven't gotten into the Obama administration or the Trump or the messes that we're in now. But it does have great history. But definitely do it as a multiple, probably I would even say multiple months type of curriculum. So, and cover each part. That would be my personal recommendation. I would not, again, I do think this is great. I don't know if I'll cover it with my daughter. It depends on the point we're at and if there's something better that provides more up-to-date information. But this is definitely a start if you're covering certain aspects. So that is it for this review. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. I will be covering Addie throughout this month, July. Yes, you guys will be watching this in July. It's the middle of May. So, when I'm filming this. But, and I may try to bring in some more lightness. This was very, very heavy. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It was just, this is very, very, very heavy. There was a reason my first film right before starting Addie was Blazing Saddles, which I still recommend, just not for small children. But it's always good to laugh. But still, this was heavy, which is, again, pieces. So, and this is designed for that, because it does come in chapters where it goes through one section and then this is the different section. So it is in fact designed for this, so it is easy to do. So again, like and subscribe, leave a positive comment if you have one, and we will be continuing Addie and then moving on to Samantha. I feel like I should put something in between there, but there's nothing there. We don't have a doll that's between Addie's slavery and the upper class of very white Samantha. So I'll see what I can do to do a little bit of a smoother transition between those two. All right. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you.